here's a little bit of some history with me. About 30 years ago, I had a lot of people calling me that sold land and owner financed it. They would sell multiple tracts of land. Sometimes they were all together and they just break them into smaller pieces. Sometimes they were scatter lot is another term. You heard me call infill lots or scatter lots. People would sell land like that. Anyway, they would owner finance land, and so I found that this was, if the finance business really focused on residential housing or commercial real estate, there was a lack of financing for land. That's why so many people would owner finance.
Sure.
And so then I would start making these field trips. A guy would have 50 notes. I'd go out and go see the properties on 50 notes, right? That's just sometimes a smart thing to do. So I took a lot of field trips. And of course, I'm a cowboy. I like being outside. I have an associate's degree in ranch management. You guys know all that. So I like going on these field trips because a lot of these guys were old ranchers or farmers. So I could really relate to them, right? Mm-hmm. And then literally as far as 30 years ago, I started partnering with people that would originally call me to sell me notes, and then I would partner with them on future development deals, right? And so I've been involved with land guys for a long time. I love the business. I've met some really good operators, but I consider you guys to be really good operators. You've really figured it out. You're smart. You've been very meticulous in doing your homework. So let's move forward. So now all of a sudden you transition. You were land flippers, just like people flip houses, right? You'd buy them at one price and sell them at a higher price. Then you figured out you buy the land, and you started figuring out financial techniques where you could keep the land and owner finance it. Right. So now let's roll forward. So now all of a sudden you've essentially built a bank. And the good news is you don't have to go sell a piece of land next month to pay the overhead.
That's right. You hit the nail on the head on that one. So it's gone, at least for me personally, I know Greg and I have talked about this a lot, but the first of the month, 5 years ago, 6 years ago, was all the money's going out, all the vendors need to be paid, everything. Now it's money is coming in, and we've learned how to increase, I think, the stability of our portfolio by joining NoteSchool and figuring out, you're good to your bank, like Eddie says, your bank will be good to you. And the only way, in my opinion, to do that is to buy solid assets and place a solid borrower on top of that asset and create a good note.
Yeah, we hear people, we know that we're not the only people that talk about land, but we see a lot of people that deal with what I call junk land. And I'm not a fan. I've seen, I promise you, I must have seen 10,000 notes on worthless property, right? But the problem is that customer wakes up one day and they won't pay. Right. And that's not a bank that will be good to you. So you always start out with a good piece of property. And you guys are really good. You figured out ways to investigate, like is it wetlands? Will it perk, or can you put a septic system on it? Is there electricity? Is there access to all those things that you guys have really dialed in? And you've done it all remote. I mean, you're liable to be 500 miles from where that property is, and what you have figured out is amazing. How do you figure this out?
We've done 100,000 times, Eddie. That's how we figured it out. We dealt with some of those tracks that you talked about, the quote unquote junk land, and we experienced exactly what you're talking about, and that steered us away from wanting to do owner financing. And so once we figured out the good quality assets, bring good quality buyers that will continue to pay, that's really what we bank on, and it's been tremendous.